And that's our motivation for today. We hope you will definitely take this well and it will motivate you and keep you going for the rest of the day. It's time for News Flash. And we start off with our very first newspaper, which is the Business Finder newspaper. NLA exempted from 10% tax. Other licensed private lotto operators cry foul. Of course, they will cry foul, because why will you exempt someone and somebody else will have to pay? That's what they're asking, right? Well, maybe there are actually good reasons why they should be exempted from this tax for others to pay. But let's see what the future holds. Inflation inches up to 43.1%. Double salary promo reloaded. EcoBank rewards 186. Wow. Let me see some stories in here as well. We'll continue to fulfill our mandates religiously. This is coming from SNIT. Traditional varsities contribute to high unemployment rates in Ghana. CTVET says so. We are poised to stay relevant. Fairgreen says so. And also, we know that NPP will definitely be going for their Super Delegates Conference very soon. And there is an analysis here, NPP presidential race, Baumia most formidable. We don't know yet, but we'll see. Corruption, nepotism, injustice erode state institutions. And that will be all for the Business Finder newspaper. We'll do the Daily Guide newspaper. The Daily Guide newspaper reads, CDS not sacked, says Army Chief. Blay leads GNPC to Guyana confab. OSP freezes of Cecilia Dapa's accounts. And man sentenced to death for sacrificing son. Also, there's a story here. Ignore NDC BOG propaganda. John Kuma says so. Is this really a propaganda, or it's what Ghanaians are actually saying? Because propaganda means it's not true. But we're here where, you know, BOG came to tell us that they actually have gone into a debt of 60 billion. Sorry. So if it's a propaganda, BOG will not come out to actually tell us that they are in debt worth 60 billion. So if BOG has said so, then what is propaganda? Anyway, yeah, we'll answer all of that. Guru terminates Australian record label deal. Keely Jade Brewer takes her over from Nashoko on Asasi Radio. Nigeria's cinemas generate 482 million naira revenue in July. Wow. What is ours as well? Business here, inflation rises to 43.1%. Sankofa Gold MD is best CEO. Momo fraud impedes digital payments adoption. And be innovative in job search. Okay. Imperial picks 3 insurance awards. And sporty as well. Mbappe misses PSG opener. Ghana face Mexico and US. And Herman Abban Foundation supports wheelchair tennis. And that will be all for Daily Guide newspaper. We'll quickly finish off with a Chronicle newspaper. Achimebuakwa Traditional Council denies distillment of Akwetia Hene. Police exposing armed robbers. Police intel exposing armed robbers as sanity returns in Sogakope, Akachi, Tamale, Bolga roads. Kumasi Pragia demo turns chaotic. BOG is solid, says government. And KEEA NPP's surest bet. Ajiman Kessie says so. We actually have a Bible verse as well. Job chapter 5, verse 27. Behold, we have investigated it, and so it is. Hear it and know for yourself. Okay, Chronicle Sports. European Leagues kicks off this weekend. Preview, predictions, surprise packages, and more. And that's it for the Chronicle newspaper. I have my guest seated. My very first guest is here. I'm still waiting for the second guest. He's a little bit late. But my first guest, Yao Yeboah, who is representing the NPP. Good morning, Yao.
Good morning.
How are you?
I'm doing well now, Rosalie.
Okay. I'll leave it like that.
I'm happy I could make you laugh loud like that. It means that you accept then na, or I should do it na kushia.
Okay, so now is more Ghana.
Ghana because you're in Accra.
Because we are in Accra.
Yeah, so.
Right. Yes. Okay, so that's why you want to call me now.
It resonates better with the people of the Ghana traditional area.
Okay, but I'm not now.
I want to make you the Nkoso Hema of Greater Accra.
Okay.
You understand? So
okay.
That is it.
Thank you. But how we know that you are actually vying to become a member of parliament. How is it going?
Yeah, it's going well. Talk about it. Let me say hello to the people of Danyansah across in the eastern region. Yes, it's an area that we are heavily underdeveloped. We don't have access to good roads. You know, we are way behind in terms of infrastructure. And I strongly believe that when we have a strong advocacy, we'll be able to appreciate in terms of infrastructure, education, health, and then the basic livelihood of the people, which is agriculture. We'll be able to improve upon agribusiness within the area. My constituency is one of the most highly yield in terms of palm fruit production. So we're looking at how we'll be able to mechanize the whole process and make it profitable business for women, children, and then the aged adults, because it is a chain that could take care of a whole lot of people because of the process involved. But unfortunately, or fortunately, because that gives me the opportunity to be able to open up the place for investment. Unfortunately, people who've taken the reins of administration has failed to appreciate the potentials we have within our area. And that has rendered us where we find ourselves today. Per capita income amongst the citizens, amongst the indigenous, is quite low. So we're trying to see how best we'll be able to help. And that's the reason why I'm contesting to lead.
That's fantastic. We know you can't campaign yet, so I can't ask you how campaign is going so far. Yeah. But we know the people are accepting you. The response has been good, right?
Absolutely.
That's fantastic. Yes. All right, so I'll do the Daily Dispatch newspaper. NPP MP lists the 12 qualities that make Bawumia the best to be NPP's 2024 flag bearer. Ashanti Region NPP founding members deny endorsing Dr. Akoto. Really? Yeah, is this true?
In this era, there's a lot of machination. So you don't take this thing on the face value. So maybe we'll delve deeper.
Okay. We continue. Yamfu Chiefs congratulate the new Water Resources Minister and deny rejecting her facility. Richard Nyama to contest NPP Bandai Primary and Mr. Joyebwa Afari on mystery shopping policies for companies. Okay, that'll be all for the Daily Dispatch newspaper. Are we going to see your picture, in front of the newspapers anytime soon to let us know that you are contesting a seat as well?
Absolutely, I'll do that.
Okay, yeah, we can't wait to see that. But you are supposed to go for your Super Delegates Conference this very month.
On the 26th,
right?
Yes.
Okay. Now, Yabwabi Asamoah, who is the spokesperson for the camp of Honorable Alan Chemating, has actually come out to say that it's needless. For him, is a waste of time, and he's hoping that one day you'll be able to scrap it out of your constitution. What's your take on it?
Thank you. You're looking good.
Thank you.
And I want to thank your husband for taking good care of you. I want to say a very good morning to your crew members and then your teamy viewers out there. We appreciate them, but for their reason, we won't be here. So we are grateful. Lawyer Yabwabi Asamoah, I will beg to differ from his assertion with respect to how necessary and how important this is. This is coming as a result of what we went through as a political party in 2007 when we had the famous 17 contestant on the ticket of the party. The party learned a lot of lessons with respect to party divisions, antagonism, the way how that election metamorphosis and how it affected us going into the 2008 general election. So the party took a decision that no, henceforth, going forward, anytime the party would have to have more than 5 aspirants, would have to go through a special delegate, and they will put it forward to Congress. And Congress accepted and became a constitutional mandate. So as a loyalist of the party that gave you the platform to be a member of parliament for Adentan constituency, you don't, because you follow a candidate, you don't go that tangent. It's like speaking against the constitution of Ghana, and that is treasonable. And he is a lawyer. So if you feel that he's been the director of national communications of our party, so all under his jurisdiction, all the time he was a director, was he not aware? Couldn't he have even put a motion to be considered? So what have you done all this while? So is it because today you are speaking for a particular candidate, that's why you think that our constitutional mandate, provisions within our constitution, is not good, is bad?
Maybe. No. So him saying what he's saying, what you're trying to say is that he's saying it because he belongs to a certain camp. Is that what it is?
This constitutional position has been in our books since 2012.
Yes.
Lawyer Yaboabena Samoa has been the National Communications Officer of our party from 2020. Right after he lost that seat, he became the National Communications Director. This has been in the books for 8 years before his appointment.
Right.
He saw nothing wrong. He loses his appointment and now he speaks for...
Maybe he's always seen it wrong, but he just hasn't been vocal about it.
We should be pragmatic. We should be consistent.
You think he's been inconsistent? Because, you see, the candidate that he's even, behind, solidly behind, will definitely come up part of the top 5. That's what people are saying.
Absolutely.
So him saying that probably is not just because he belongs to a certain camp.
I am not saying because. I'm saying that this is a person who's been a national communications director. This provision has been in existence for quite a long time. It's over 10 years. He was a member of parliament for 4 years. After that, he became a national communications officer for additional 2 to 3 years.
Could it be that he's been fighting it behind the scenes? Nothing has been done. So today that
if you say you are fighting behind the scenes, with what? Probably. To fight it, look, but before we go for the last Congress in Accra, we're supposed to do some constitutional amendment. We open up for people, individuals, to write to the office of the General Secretary, tabling the defects defined within our constitution. He could have done that.
Okay.
He could have done. He had every opportunity as a member of parliament, as a national executive member, to put forth. And Honorable lawyer Yaboabena Samoa, it's not a new face. He contested to be the general secretary, and later organizer of our party. He's been part of the process all this while. He's been consistent. He was a former aide to the vice president, may he so rest in peace, Alhaji Ali Mahama. So this is a consistent somebody who's been around for a long time. The time we're even admitting applicants to rectify a constitution, he was there. You understand? He was a member of the 2012 electoral petition lawyers. You understand? So why now?
That's the question.
Yes, why now?
Well, but do you think his point is valid, though? Let's forget about the why now.
Yes.
Do you think his point is valid?
It's not valid. I am saying that this particular rule, if I am permitted, emanated from 2007, where 17 aspirants would have to contest on the ticket of the MPP, which in our thinking did not help us.
Yeah. So you had to trim it down.
Yes. The divisions that particular contest created for us, a particular party, was too much. So we took a decision. What we should be doing rather is to advocate for people who have political intentions to magnanimous. Yes, in as much as you want to be a president, does not mean that when you know definitely that you don't have the necessary support. You should still.
But when you say necessary support,
which one is the
necessary support?
Before
you don't think that he has the support?
He's not contesting.
But you said when you don't have necessary support.
What I'm saying is that anybody per our constitution and that of the national constitution, once you are 40 years, you're eligible to contest.
Exactly.
So if we don't put in
the measures
that will curtail the influx of people on our album, at a time will come, we'll wake up one day and 100 people within a political party will decide, oh, all of us are qualified. I am 40 years and I'm of able and sound mind. So I want to be a president on a ticket of a political party.
Now that's why you charge. That's why there's a fee, and that fee should be
the
able
money,
to control.
The fee charge is not a motivation.
Okay.
The fee charge is not a motivation. We are looking at unity, togetherness, decorous within a political space. The more people you have, you create that misunderstanding. Because we are doing, it has to do with fellowship. People who are following this aspirant, what do they, even with this 10, we're still struggling to put them together to manage the utterances here and there. So in my thinking, it's the best provisions that the party has inserted in our constitution, just to trim. So once you do not qualify to be among the 5, the party concentration now becomes on a smaller group of people to manage.
Okay.
Than to manage this huge. Imagine going into a presidential
well, it makes sense that, you know, you are going into elections and the numbers are not too huge.
Yes.
You're able to control the numbers. Because, I mean, I remember when in 2017, you had so many people. 2007, sorry. Had so many candidates coming in. And it was like almost everybody just wanted to come in because you had come to power. And, you know, people felt that if I come in there, then it makes me relevant.
So the necessity for provision.
But maybe he has,
I don't fault him for coming out this week, but I'm saying that this person is somebody who've had every opportunity. If in his thinking, it was bad, he's had every opportunity
to have defended it at that time, or to debunk it, or to fight it at that time, but he did not.
Yes.
Okay. Godwin is here. Godwin Ayamba Mahama, who is on the ticket of the NDC. He's late. Hi.
Hello.
How? What happened?
Accra is wet.
Is it?
Accra is wet.
Very wet.
And then
that's just the reason.
No, but we all got here on time.
Just have to forgive me. I don't know where you stay.
Where do you stay?
I live around Kaswa. And you know it's not easy.
Where I live is not easy as well.
Just forgive me for coming in late.
That's okay. That's okay. All right, so we are discussing Lawyer Yabuabia Samoa's comments that he made with regards to the Superdelegates Conference that he says is not necessary for them to have it. He thinks that they should not be having it. It should be scrapped out of their constitution so that going forward, you know, they'll just have an election and elect whoever they want to have as a flag bearer.
Good morning to your viewers. Good morning to yourself and good morning to y'all. Yabuabia Samoa is a lawyer, as I know, in good standing. It's his views that he's sharing, but to the best of my understanding, every political party has a way to address some of these issues. The issues he's raising now, I think it is too late to raise such issues, unless maybe he is doing that, preparing the grounds for future official writing to the party for an amendment to be done to their constitution. If that is the case, then so be it, fine. Because there is a procedure to doing some of these things. It's not just about getting the mic and speaking into the mic that makes the change. It's about following the right procedure as outlined in the party's constitution. For me, I don't see anything wrong with their current position because it's virtually the same. It's virtually the same.
They've been doing this for a while.
No, they've just decided to divide it into 2 sections. Where the first section, irrespective of the number, so long as you go through the vetting, you are allowed to take part in the initial general special delegates congress. And subsequently, they try to trim it to 5. Then the 5 goes to the final one. Obviously, there is nobody who would not make it up to the 5 and would think that should he or she find space in the general Congress, he is going to make it. Because even the small group, he was not able to make it. How much more the larger group? Unless maybe there are teething issue we have to talk about. Because, for instance, if you look at how some of them are complaining, for instance, with regards to their decentralization of how the initial election is supposed to be, you know, that number is very small. So sometimes people believe it is easy to identify those that voted for A and those that didn't vote for A. And after the election, those that didn't vote for, let's say, the people that the government, the president is in favor of, tends to be victimized and sometimes not given a lot of opportunity in the party. So should they bring everybody on board, and because it's a secret ballot, it is difficult to identify who voted for who and who didn't vote for who.
But the president is not behind anybody.
Oh, that's for that one. You don't expect him to come and tell you he's behind somebody.
No, but he's openly said
and
it.
I said that the president has said a lot of things that are inaccurate.
But if he has said that, he's not behind anybody. We cannot change it and say he's behind
most
somebody.
of his own party people are saying he is for a particular candidate.
The person says, I am not for a particular candidate.
I'm saying that for me, unless you want to believe the words of the president.
It's not unless I want to be. Those are his words. It's just like you sit here and you say your words and you own it. That is the same way that you will accept what
I am not telling you that he has not said the things you are saying. But it is up to me
so
to
you
believe what he's saying.
That's fine if you don't
That's what I'm saying, that
okay.
You can choose to believe his words. But for me, I don't believe any word of the president.
Okay, that's fine. Make your point.
Because he has made a lot of such comments in public that tends to be false. Do you get me? So this is not the time for me to come and believe. Besides, I don't expect him to even come and say that I am supporting candidate A or B. Obviously, he wouldn't do that. It would be democratic for him to do that. Do you get me? But what I'm saying is that people believe that should they bring all of them on board, at least it will help in identifying who voted for this and who didn't vote for that. So that in the long run, people don't victimize others. Because they make reference to other elections that people were being able to be identified that this didn't go for this, didn't go for that. And at the end, today, they don't even find space in the party. Do you get me? But the long and short all is that. Oh yes, I've heard a lot of people.
But you don't know.
But you don't expect me. You see, you don't, because I don't belong to the party.
But we all hear rumors.
So I'm saying that
rumors doesn't make it true.
There's no rumor without an iota of truth.
But it still doesn't make it true.
And I'm saying that there's no rumor without an iota of truth. There's no smoke without fire.
So if I hear rumor that you are an armed robber, I should believe it because there's no smoke without fire?
And I'm saying that the first point of call is that you must add a certain little premium to it. Then you do further investigation either to confirm or not to confirm. I'm saying that these are what some of them are saying, that it has happened before. So they shouldn't go back for the past. That didn't help some individuals.
Okay, some of them are saying, but
yes, but the long and short all is that for me, so there is always a procedure in anything that we do.
Okay.
He shouldn't just go on air to be making such proposals because he's a lawyer. He knows much, and I know very well that he might have read the entire constitution of the NPP and knows the procedure. I heard Yao giving a plethora of his CV of who Yao Awabin Asamoah is, to the extent that he has been a former MP, a former national communication director. So he knows much about the party and knows the procedure. I will urge him to stick and concentrate on the upcoming elections and campaign for his candidate. It is too late for such proposals because I don't think the party can do anything about it now. So long as it is enshrined in their constitution, they can't do anything about it now until amendment is being done. So he should cease fire, concentrate on his campaign, and after, when the party is approaching a general congress for constitutional amendment, he can officially table those proposals to be inserted in their constitution.
Right,
quick one. Rose, just let's imagine that these 10 people were put for vetting, and then the vetting committee decided to disqualify 3 of them. What will be the public outcry? That they just ended vetting. Then the National Vetting Committee decided, okay, out of the 10, only 3 of them, or 5, is being disqualified. With the absence of this particular provision in our constitution,
right,
that because the mandate still reside within the vetting committee to determine who qualifies or not. And then the vetting committee decides that, okay, out of the 10 that appeared before us, this 5 qualifies, and that the rest of the 5 has been disqualified. What will be the public outcry?
Why should there be a public outcry?
Yeah, that's it.
Listen.
Why did you set up a committee in the first place? We go for vetting for these things. So you set up a committee that you are paying this committee to make sure that they bring out the top
You see,
five.
when we are dealing with the political space and political arrangement, it's not as straightforward as you think.
How?
They are followers. Imagine, excuse my language, I'm sorry to use him as an example. Honorable the MP for Asin Central.
Chacha Kwesen?
Asin Central.
Kennedy
Honorable Kennedy Dohine Japan.
Kennedy Japan, yeah.
He's been disqualified through vetting. What will be the feeling of his followers within the party? Do you have an idea the anarchy, the misunderstanding that will erupt out of within the NPP space? Will the party have the capacity to handle it? Mind you, this has been a party financier, right? This has been somebody who's helped the party in diverse ways, from the micro level to the macro level. He's been a great help. And then he appears, maybe justifiably so, he appeared before a committee and he performed badly. And you disqualify him and he's put out there. His followers across the length and breadth of this country, do you think they will forgive the party? So the party says that no, they've gone through. Let the party faithfuls decide. So when the party decides that you are not fit for purpose, excuse my language, your followers, because most of your followers are considered to be delegates, and then they vote against you. You have no reason now to try and mass out people against the party.
So yeah, why then do you set up a vetting committee?
We set the vetting committee, first of all, in 1996, do you know that a lady had to write to take our candidate to court for him to be disqualified? I'm talking about Kwame Nkrumah. I don't know if you know about that. An outsider. So for due diligence and all that, we decided, okay, it's not them appearing only before the committee. The committee goes ahead to do the necessary background checks of all those people who have tabled themselves or who are putting themselves up for consideration. That's the first thing. The committee they also have a mandate to even sometimes have an agreement, discussion as to some of the people, that their ambitions are premature in terms of counseling and all that, to make them understand where we find ourselves. So there's a whole lot of work to be done. And some people, they themselves, they are not qualified, but they don't know they are not qualified.
So the committee will do what?
The committee, when they find out, they will disqualify those people.
Okay.
Yeah, but there are certain stalwarts within a political party. You don't touch them. Look, you might pretend. There are people, even in football team, there are players who are untouchable. So you allow the system itself to decide. Second, our provision is not only necessary when the party is in government. Those who are alluding to your assertion, they are just looking at it from one angle, that the president and then the system will victimize people in line. What if you're in opposition? When there's no president, when there's no minister, when there's no DC, where there are no appointees.
But their comment wasn't limited to when they are in power.
Okay, got
you
it.
get me?
The constitution provision gives that any time we are going for presidential primaries, be I in government, in opposition. If I heard you right, you said that because the reason why we are doing the decentralization, not the centralized election, is because we will be able to identify particular people that voted for a particular candidate.
Consider the assertion of some of your people.
So that's what I want to kill, that it is not true.
Okay.
In the event that we are in opposition, who is interested in who voted for anybody? But the most important thing is that for us to trim the numbers to 5. That is our provision.
Okay.
Be it whether we are in opposition or not, it will work.
Okay. But you know what you're saying, even in opposition, you can still be able to pick points who didn't vote for me. Because if I come to power, you didn't vote for me, and I can put you on the side.
No.
It can happen, though.
No.
It can. Maybe it's not happening.
It can
but
happen.
It can.
Yes. Whatever, if if you want to scrutinize every decision, there's always a plus and minus.
Yes, exactly. So
you understand.
Yes.
But at the end of the day, we look at the greater good of that particular provision.
Right.
Rosalie,
we know Saglemi has been.
No, Rosalie, just a minute.
Let me bring in the Saglemi. You can just talk about it when you have time.
You just
because I want to start my next topic.
Don't worry, just a minute.
I should give you one minute.
So you take a bite of it, and then you continue. That's
with the
fine.
Saglemi. Okay. Great. Now we know the Saglemi, the Kumasi Ashanti region, Greater President has spoken about it, and he says that if Saglemi should be sold to the private sector, it will cost we the citizens and not, the government. It's everybody, because at the end of the day, we stand at a loss. We need the houses more than we could ever imagine. He's even willing to challenge the current housing minister on this if the housing minister says that we'll run at a loss. But he's saying that rather it's the citizens who run at a loss. Let me start with you, Yao. No, let me come to you because you have a take on this one before. So, Godwin, your take.
No, all what I was trying to put across is that, you see, Yao shouldn't create the impression that it should be a must that should 100 people table the application to contest for the primaries, because of their supporters, it becomes automatic for the vetting committee to pass all of them.
Well, that's their party decision.
Yes, I'm coming. And in another breath, he gives you their mandate, their scope of work to do certain background check of the candidate, so that should any of them emerge as leaders, making reference to the 1998 or 92 incidents where somebody has to file for their candidate 96, so that it doesn't happen. So the question is, should they realize that Kofi's background will not fit? Should he emerge to be the winner and they disqualify such a person? Just a matter of giving the reasons as it is.
I understand.
Do you get me?
Right.
So let us not create that impression.
Okay.
On the Saglemi issue, my dear, this issue we need to be very, very much interested in discussing this, so that the government will turn its eyes on the Saglemi project. One, we have sunk citizens' money into that project. The government came to power in the year 2017. In the year 2021, they made an audit, and that audit was made by AESL. That is the official government consultant in all government projects. And the outcome was that the government needed 31 million to be able to complete that project. Bear in mind, before we left power, the project was about 95% complete. What was left was for water utilities, water, electricity. That was left to entirely complete the project. So the audit indicated that we needed $31 million to be able to complete the whole project. The government leaves it to the mercy of the weather. 7 years on, goes back to do an audit, and the price has now increased from 31 million Ghana cedi to now about 100 and something Ghana cedi.
117.
Do you blame the NDC? Or you blame the government that took power and did an audit and needed just 31 million, left the project to the mercy of the weather, and has caused financial loss to the state, that today we need over 100 million to complete that project? Do you blame the NDC?
But has somebody blamed the NDC?
They are blaming the NDC. That's what the president said when he went to cast sword for the Pokwasi.
He blamed the NDC that what?
That the project was supposed to be completed using 200 million. We spent the whole money. We couldn't get the 5,000 housing units. And should they spend money on that project, it is going to cost the nation more than what he is going to cast sword for.
That's what he said, yeah.
And I'm saying that
He didn't blame.
And I'm saying that which government started the project?
Yes, the NDC government started the project.
Yes.
What he said was that there's been some mismanagement in the funds. He didn't say the NDC again, I'll say. He said Collins Dowda, who was then the housing minister, is under investigation. And so if he said that, we can't say that he's blaming the whole NDC.
And I'm saying that
there was somebody who was in charge, okay? And that person, he's saying that mismanaged the funds. The person said, I was going to use ABCD amount of money to complete. And when we look at what is there, that amount of money that he's claiming he used is not what it is. We assess it, we realize that, okay, let's roughly say, he said he was going to use 20 million. And we look at the project, and where's the 20 million? We look at the project, and it's not worth 20 million. So we have to investigate and get to the bottom of where the 20 million has been.
Have you gone through the project document? When you look at the project document, the amount quoted is not supposed to be used to build the entire 5,000 housing unit.
No, wait.
I'm coming.
Make your point, and then
I'm saying that the amount quoted is not meant for the entire 5,000 project.
It's meant for what?
It's a revolving project where the money is supposed to be used to build a certain number of housing units. Then as we sell and we get back those monies, we use those monies into completing the rest. That is what the project talks about. Do you get me? So they make the assertion that the money was supposed to be used to build the entire 5,000 housing units.
Okay.
That is not the truth.
Wait.
And we need to be clear on that.
No. What was stated was that this is the amount of money we are using to complete 5,000.
And I'm saying that.
Wait. And then we need this amount of money to complete 5,000. However, we will be selling and making more money to build more.
To build the rest.
That is what was said.
No, I'm saying that I have taken the pain to read the entire contract document.
But that's what was said in there.
No, I'm saying that I've read the entire document.
But the document
it is a project that needs to be evolving.
Exactly.
When we build 1,500, we sell to the people who are interested. As and when we get the money, we used to complete the rest. But I'm saying that before we left power.
So if you say the money, so how much money was needed for 1,500?
How much money was needed
for the completion of the 5,500?
No, that one I cannot sit here and tell you.
So that's the
but
point.
I'm telling you that.
So you make a document and you actually put in that document that I am using this amount of money to build A, B, C, D. So I come to you because you know what? You can't go to Ghanaians. Don't worry, I even have it, so don't worry. You can't go to Ghanaians and tell them that I'm building something, but I'm actually selling and building. You actually have to tell them how much you're putting in there.
My dear.
Because you see, again, you are using the people's money. So if it's my money and it's my tax, you're telling me that, just like they're saying that the Pokwasi housing, they need $100 million to do it. It's the same thing. The government from the NDC then told us that this is the amount of money they were using for 5,000 houses. They didn't tell us that they are using this money to start 1,000 and then later when we sell 1,000, then no, they didn't say that.
Rosalie.
They said our budget is this amount for 5,000.
Rosalie, if you allow me, you understand what I'm saying.
I understand you very well.
I think they say the devil is in the details. You are just reading the surface of the document and explaining to me. I'm telling you that the details in the document suggest that.
This is what is in the document.
I said the details in the document suggest what I am telling you.
And I'm telling you what I know in the document as well.
The revered man who spoke is saying that should we sell the project?
Who is the revered man?
Oh, please. Should we sell the project to the private sector? It is going to cost the nation. Jesus. And I agree with him.
That's fine. You can go ahead and
his statement is that ask yourself, if the government is building an affordable housing to sell for the people of Ghana, juxtaposing it with a private sector building an affordable housing to sell, imagine which of them will cost higher than the other. Obviously, the private sector structure will cost higher than the government structure. And that is the basis of his argument.
Yes.
And I'm saying that. Two, what I'm saying is that the government has just decided to abandon the Saglemi project because we just needed 31 million per the AESL document to be able to complete the project since 2017. It is just because the government has realized that that project was started by his predecessor. Should he complete, the people of Ghana will see the achievement of John Mahama rather than seeing his achievement. So his option is that let me abandon the project that was started by John Mahama and go and start my own, because $31 million cannot be compared to over 100 million.
Godwin Ayaba.
Yes, my dear.
We have seen this government complete projects that John Dramani Mahama started. So what are you saying?
Every government has tried its possible best to complete projects of the others.
How is he completing Saglemi and John Dramani Mahama will take credit for it?
We are talking about
No, you just made a point.
matter.
You just made a point.
And that is the truth.
No, but you can't say that because
I said that is the truth.
We have seen the government. We have seen this particular government complete projects that was started under your government.
I'm saying
so why
that
are you saying this?
In this particular project, the president is being so petty.
What's so different about this one?
That you need an amount of $31 million, an audit that you yourself instructed for them to do for you. You left the project at the mercy of the weather. 7 years on, it is now going to cost the country more than 100 million.
Okay.
And you are telling me that we didn't do due diligence in order to make sure that the project was fully in place. What I'm saying is that, do you know that after they made up their mind not to complete the project, do you know what they did? They decided to send national security personnel in the name of going to take care of the place so that people don't invade the place. At the end, the people of Pram Pram constituency went to do citizen arrest, seeing them stealing the project.
Who is stealing the project?
I said the project, stealing the tiles and some cables.
Who?
The national security operative. Are you aware? I'm coming.
No, Godwin, this no. I'm sorry. I know Brenda will say, Rosie say no, like a head teacher, but no, Godwin.
Don't worry, I'll give you a proof. You said, do I have a proof?
Show me proof. And
don't worry, I'll give you a proof. No, don't worry. Don't let him come in.
No. Yeah, come in.
And that proof. I'll do that with you. No, I'll do that with you. Don't worry, I'll do that with you. Go online. You go online.
Go online. You are online.
I'm coming. For you not to think. So I have some here. Saturday, 1st May 2021. Ghana Web. Saglemi housing equipment worth over $7 million stolen at the site
by
former consultant. Don't worry, I'll read for you.
Please go ahead.
A former consultant for the controversial Saglemi housing project, Dr. The name is mentioned, has revealed that materials and equipment. Kaminta Bazia. I think yeah.
So we'll do a background check.
Have been stolen from the site. According to him, the theft took place when the construction company abandoned the site and left behind some of its materials and equipment.
Abandoned the site.
Move. They did that because of the fact that you were not ready to
continue, please.
Continue. Move that allowed people to take whatever they wanted. So this is the amount I am talking about. My dear, I'm saying that.
So where was it mentioned?
Wait, don't worry.
Godwin, in all that you're saying, you actually allege that national security officials that were sent there to take care of the property stole these things. And you said you were going to prove it. Where's your proof?
My dear, why? What I read, you didn't hear me.
What you read, where does it state that national security stole the things? I'm
saying that I am privy. I am privy to this particular issue.
That's what
they were even reported to. Please, my dear. If I don't know what I'm talking about, I won't be talking about it.
We will not see. We will have to retract or reprove. So if you don't have proof,
retract what?
Retract what you just said.
I'm saying that.
No, you can't.
I am privy to the content of the issue. That was reported to the police.
But you don't have proof. Godwin,
my dear, I'm saying that. I know what I'm talking about.
No,
I'm not retracting. I'm saying that they stole materials worth $7 million.
And you said national security.
Yes.
No, Godwin.
That is the truth.
Give me your proof or you retract.
That is, I have read it to you.
That's not your proof.
I've read it to you.
You didn't read anything to me.
Are you doubting?
What you read to me is not what it is. There is nothing in there that states that national security stole.
So which people stole it?
How do you say national security?
And I'm telling you, it is national security operative.
No, I'm sorry.
Who were sent there?
No, Godwin. No, I'm sorry. Yeah, come in.
Thank you very much. You can never defend your mama and the kind of corrupt practices that he has through his ministers, through his appointees, has putting on this country, Ghana. He is talking about completing government projects. Well, in this country, when President Kufuor started affordable project all over Ghana, Kumasi, Eastern region, then it took the NDC 8 years by not even visiting the site. We are not even talking about they doing an audit just to visit those sites that President Kufuor started the affordable housing project. It took MPP to return back to power to complete them. Now let's go to this project. Professor John Evans Atamas, in his thinking, dreamed that because of the housing deficit of Ghana, let's start a project that will be able to curtail the mess that we find ourselves, the exploitation by civil workers and all that. So let's put up a housing project. This is a brainchild of Professor Evans Fifi Atamas, may he so rest in peace. This man dies, John Mama takes over reins of government and decide that monies that has been procured, that has been secured for this project, he will use it to buy I-10 for university students in 2012 campaign.
Please, you don't have proofs to that either.
I'm coming.
No. Yeah, if I tell, yes, please. Thank you very much. Yes.
So that we'll move on. Monies, I wanted you to read the contract, the agreement. It was stated, blue, black, red, that we have secured a loan of $200 United States million to build a 5,000 housing unit at Saglemi. In the ordinary person's calculations, if we have $200 million to put up 5,000, then we are looking at a unit for about $40,000. Now, they say that the project is not going to go on, the 5,000 not going to complete at the same time, so they are going to do it phase by phase. But the money secured for this phase, 4 phases or 5 phases, was to be 200 million. Now, they started only 1,000, even you are talking of 1,500, they started only 1,200 out of the 5,000 monies that has been procured. And you know that this contract was supposed to take place in 24 months, 2 years. So a project that started officially in 2013 was supposed to be completed in 2015, right? And Ghana Home Loans were supposed to be the off-taker of this particular project. Now, 2016, 2017, when they were leaving power, that is after 4 years, when they were leaving power, only 668 were completed.
Fully
completed.
Because if you say completed, some Ghanaians will think
fully completed.
Good.
Fully
completed meaning that all the things were done.
All the auxiliaries, everything,
electricity, everything was done.
So defeat the lie he just flew here that when they did the office there were no water. Because if you tell me that 668 were fully completed, means there was water, there was electricity.
That's what the report said.
Thank you. So it's not true.
That what?
That 600 you completed 600
fully completed.
Yeah. Where you had put in your electricity lines,
water and everything,
lines, your toilet facilities, everything was in there, light and everything was there. That's 600 fully completed.
I'm saying that about 1,005 was started.
It's not true.
Out of the 1,005, we had finished about we're almost completed. We were done with about 90%.
So if you want to tell us that you couldn't complete one, fine. It will make my argument easier.
The point is that what you're saying is the same.
You did not even no, is it that you were almost completed?
No, I'm saying
there's a difference between.
I am giving you the general figures that we started 1,500.
You did not start 1,500. You started 1,200.
1,500. 1,500.
Godwin,
my dear,
what we are saying is the same thing.
Then let's move ahead.
A project was started. Some were fully completed. Others were partially completed. Let's continue.
So, you've taken the people's sweat, $200 million to start a project, and you start 1,005. You told us that you were going to complete it in 2 years. Per your own calculation, then Ghana Home Loans off-take it, and they will sell it and make revenue, and then you continue. Is that not what you say? Which is really not true. You completed, according to you. You almost completed, means that you completed nothing. Under the contract period.
They completed some.
Oh, he said they were.
No, but let's move on.
So after completion of 668, Ghana Home Loans could not sell these ones that were completed, if indeed they were completed, to the public, so that they will be able to raise money for the other project to kickstart. Is that what the NDC is telling us? Gordon, is that what you want Ghanaians to believe?
That what?
That after squandering almost 150 million out of the what do you call 200 million that we cannot account for, even the 1,200 that you started, you could not complete it. In percentage terms, the NDC could not complete 25% of the money they took from Ghanaians. And you know that he's telling that the MBB, the monies that we took from the Swiss bank to do this project had a free period of 24 months that we are not going to pay interest. So from 2015 coming, we're paying interest plus principal, amounting to some amount of 247 million United States dollars, and we're supposed to pay. I said interest and principal.
Continue.
Please listen. And this, we have only 7 years to pay off this particular loan you took from the Swiss. And you are asking the MPP, we are servicing your 247 million United States dollars. We should go and look for additional $31 million. Okay, to come and complete 1,200 projects. Please, does it make sense to you?
No, the monies that are needed is not 31 million, actually.
Now,
and it's not 4,500. It's for all 8,000. The monies that we were told, I think, is 114 or 117
that is
million
the latest
US dollars.
audit.
That's the audit, yes. So that's what we are using.
We are
so with that is supposed to complete all 8,000 housing units. Sorry, 5,000.
That is the 8,000 units.
5,000 housing units. Yes. But
and Akufo-Addo is saying that
he will use 100 million.
If I have to go and borrow or have to go and look for additional taxpayers' money to go and complete a project that we cannot even account for the finances, then I'd rather start a project that a lesser amount of that will even give us a more quantum amount of that. Which one makes sense? Right. And this Damenya guy you are talking about, I show you his profile. He said he's what grader.
But he's grader.
Oh, please, if you don't have the courage. This is a known NDC operative communicator in Kumasi.
But he's still a grader.
And he does not even have full facts of the. Okay, it's okay. Me, I am not. I don't need to get.
Ashanti regional grader president.
NDC.
No, we can't put a.
It's okay. You don't want to put the part, but I know him so.
On the ticket of grader.
And then he should have at least avert himself with the full detail of this rot Saglemi project led by John Mahama.
All right, let me go and read some messages coming in. NPP Special Delegate Conference is raising so much controversy, but I think we are going through difficult times and moments. Our current economic indicators are nothing good to talk about, and our inflation rate is very bad. The price of goods and services keeps increasing, and what have you. My point is that the NPP, if NPP political party can design a wonderful event that is NPP Special Delegates Conference, then I think the NPP political party should be able to come out with a very innovative policies to revive the economy like the way the NPP political party is doing, with anything possible to keep their political party alive. Name Aaron Bebako Kokobisa, location Accra. Ishaba Anelka says that Kasatinti Atoponko. John Bahama and his party, NDC, should know we, the NPP party, will give them a showdown in the next general election 2024. Breaking the 8 is a must and stronger than apartheid. Special greetings to lawyer Jerry Ahmed of Wejagba constituency. All right, so, well, this man has spoken, but let's see what will happen with that. Let's move on to our next topic. Let's talk about inflation, because I know that you guys are like, inflation has shot up. You said you've turned the corner. Inflation has shot up. Yeah. Why is inflation shooting up?
Who said he's turned the corner?
Your finance minister.
He said we are turning the corner.
So it hasn't turned yet.
You see, we want to be oblivious of the facts and the surroundings around us. I get in it. For instance, the happenings of Niger is having a diverse, effect on us as a people, because we receive most of our, foodstuffs coming from Niger to shut up the differences we have. So they are part of the things that are shutting up. Again, we have never said that we have fixed the economy entirely. What we have, you see, the good thing with the MPP and then another administration is that we've been truthful. We've been able to open up to let Ghanaians know that we are not in a normal times. We are going through difficulties. Those volatility we are experiencing, we would have to go through. And it's the same elsewhere. You will not be able to tell me that anywhere in the world they are not experiencing volatility in terms of inflation and other forex. Okay. It is everywhere. We are all within the globe trying to adjust ourselves to the shocks that is emanating from other parts of the world. And mind you, we live in a global world. What happens in Nigeria Look, today in Nigeria, that is the biggest producer of oil in Africa, don't have oil for their people. So let's not pretend, let's not behave like ostriches, that there's nothing happening. We have acknowledged the difficulties we are facing in this country. We've been truthful with the people of Ghana by coming clear that we don't live in a normal times. The shocks we are receiving, it's affecting our economy. However, what we want to do is that we'll be able to sustain ourselves to the level, to the time that we'll be able to maintain ourselves first of all, then we'll take it up. Look, let me tell you, upon all the shocks, and I keep saying, thank God, in this time of our economy or of our country, it is the MPP that is managing it.
Let me say this.
I'm coming.
You know when you go to the people and you tell them that, oh, we had hard times, things are getting better, and then not after 24 hours, I won't even say 72 hours, not even 48 hours, fuel shoots up. A week later, inflation goes up.
Okay, so
all the people say.
So
because you came to me and you told me that, oh, I've worked. That is why the cedi is stable. That is why fuel prices are dropping. That is why inflation is dropping. And inflation was even quoted in Parliament that day. A week later, inflation shot up.
Okay, so I like the analogy that we give you these figures, and then the next morning, fuel prices on the international market increases. Are you going to say that because I told the people yesterday that fuel prices were coming down, because there has been increase that we have to go and buy, we won't be able to increase it? Mind you, we have a two-week window that will operate. Within this period, if there are any upwards adjustment, it affects. Likewise, same if there are downward adjustment. That's the management of the fuel prices. The most important thing is we letting the people know what we find ourselves with. Now, every Ghanaian, most of us that we live we are sustaining ourselves through remittances, knows what is happening elsewhere in the world. So if you even lied about the figures, today I was on something before you interject. We thank God it's MPP. Upon all that is happening in this world, we have been able to maintain the Baba is in the barbering salon working. Today we are here. The other people, the fuel that we're talking about, we even have it to buy. Other can't even purchase from the international market because of how the prices are skyrocketing. We would encourage every Ghanaian to bear with this government that we are not sleeping. We will turn the corner. We are trying to look. During COVID, yesterday I was with somebody on the program. I said, look, a country that we always have a deficit in terms of our production. We go through a international disaster where workers would have to stay home for government to pay them, and in some instances pay them with their gross. There's no money coming to the coffers of Ghana, where our borders are shut completely, where production ceases.
There's no money coming to the coffers of Ghana. We received money.
I'm coming on that.
Yeah, but we receive money. So when we say there's no money coming to the coffers of Ghana, it's as though Ghana never received any amount of money.
Okay, so
we know we received, and we are even still paying COVID levy.
Rose, do you know that this economy largely is driven by the private sector? Are you aware?
Yes, but if you say there's no money came in, it's as though no money came in. You know that money came in.
You do me, yourself, and our listeners to allow me to proceed so that
proceed, but I just want you not to use certain words or statements for people to think money came in.
I was actually going to come on all that before you interject. That's all that I want you to allow us.
Continue though.
Are you getting it? The private sector, that is largely driven by even agriculture, because they give us majority of our exports. For that period, our borders were shut. So production, those who have been produced for them to export, for us to have earnings, could not do that. Workers who were working in these particular places were asked to sit home for them to be able to do what? Take care of them. Those monies that we receive as government, well, here when we allow private sectors, individuals to apply for so that they will be able to sustain their businesses.
To apply for loan?
No.
Grant?
Government gave grant to...
Government gave grant, yes.
To individual private organizations.
Some.
They open it for application. if you decide that Danyansah and co, I'm not applying, you are not, that doesn't mean
I know
that,
about those grants.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And even household. So those monies you are talking that government receive, government ensure that those monies go back to what? The private sector, who is the engine of our what? Of our growth, of our economy.
All the monies went to the
Not all the money. I never said all the money.
Right.
I want you to understand those monies you are talking about. It's not that government received and sat on it. Government ensured that there were disbursement to the sum, because at the end of the day, government, the over 600 million people, 600,000 people on government payroll. Government needed to pay them. Government needed to acquire IPPs.
But let's not also forget that
Government needed to even increase monument of health workers.
Don't forget that as of now, we are still paying COVID levy. This COVID levy is supposed to cover up all the debts that we incurred. And so if we make reference to, COVID era, when monies came in, monies were given out as grants. Yet Ghanaians are still paying COVID levy.
I am appreciating the fact of the impact of COVID.
Okay.
You understand? Right after COVID, then what's their name? Russia decided to invade Ukraine to cause a whole lot of turmoil within the international space, which Ghana is not an exception. At a point in time, we could not export wheat for flour and production of basic East food in Ghana, all because of those invasions. Some other African countries, if you follow the news, Ethiopia and other sub-Saharan Africa were even relying on UN for their food aid. Ghana, we did not go through all that. So we have sustained ourselves in this phase of all this turmoil and this.
Now we are talking about the inflation shooting up.
It is affecting production.
The COVID-Russia war is affecting production now.
See, when you put it conveniently so.
No, I just want to understand, because, we are supposed to talk about inflation going up.
What I'm saying is that the reason why
we are
our finances
just last week, and so if we
when we talk about inflation, we are talking about the fiscal side of our economy.
Okay. But that's what people are facing.
Yes, and I'm telling you the aggregate point of affection, things that are affecting the fiscal point of our economy. That's what I'm building on. It is not like I am looking at one particular thing. There is a cost point. What has cost us to find ourselves? Well, around December last year, we're doing about 54% in terms of inflation.
NPP has spoken about this over and over. Yes, you said December last year, we had gone to 54. We were, the finance minister hailed himself bringing inflation down to 41 point something when he addressed, us as Ghana.
And he never said inflation will never shoot up.
No, he said it's turning around the corner. Now,
yes.
Just what?
You see, the fact that So if tomorrow, I'm coming. If tomorrow inflation drops back to 35.
Who hailed himself?
I'm saying, you see, if you are managing the economy, even in our private lives, you won't be able to tell me there will not be any volatilities. In economics, it's appreciable. It's appreciable. So the fact that yesterday, a week ago, we were doing 41 in percentage terms, and a week or two later, it is going up to 43, does not mean that he's not done anything.
No, nobody's
sustainably, sustainably. Look at the sharp curve between 54% terms in December last year.
We have you.
In December last time to now in August this year. There has been a decline. In December 2022, we're doing 23 Ghana cedi per liter petrol. Diesel. And today, in August 2023, we are doing 12 point something. 12.99. Has it not been
So diesel is 11 point something, some places. And then petrol is 12.99.
If the finance minister says that we are turning it, is he not turning it, comparing the figures from 23 cedis per liter to 11.99? Is he not doing well? The fact that there has been volatility does not mean that the economy is doing bad.
Okay, let me come to you, Godwin.
Rosalind, before I move to your question, let me state this fact clearly. There was a Sokori Mampong housing project, Bortema housing project, Pong housing project that were completed by His Excellency John Dramani Mahama.
Okay.
He created an impression that John Mahama didn't complete any of the housing projects. This housing project were completed by His Excellency John Dramani.
It's not true.
Okay. Let me move.
It's not true. The fact is, it is not true.
Let me move.
The Asakore project was completed by Danaro Danko.
It was completed by John.
So please stop it. When we go there,
don't worry. We will bring the facts next week.
Very good. Go take your cameras. He did not. John Mahama. I will not allow you, please to cast this.
So you know what we're going to do? Don't worry. Yeah. We are going to bring the facts next week. It's not a problem at all.
The Botema. So if you are telling us, if you go to the Botema is just here, send your cameras.
Yeah.
You are telling me that you could Mama completed Botema. Please, it's not. Please, I won't allow you.
No,
I'm saying that
to put out
those projects were completed by His Excellency John Dramani. This is a fact.
It is not a fact. It's not true. I won't allow you. I won't allow you to lie on this project. On this program.
Let me move on.
We have to even take people to go and win the site.
Let me move on.
Okay.
Rosalind, 2. If indeed it is true that we are paying interest on the capital of the loan that we took, so the government today is telling us that we should leave the project at the mercy of the weather and be paying interest rather than going to complete it, sell, and at least get a profit out of it. Is that the kind of governance they promise to give the people of Ghana?
Okay, there's a message coming in. Let me read it and quickly you go to that topic we were dealing with. Regarding the NPP flag bearership race, the government is using every available means to ensure that Dr. Bawumia emerges as a winner. Interestingly, Bawumia's credibility and integrity as far as governance is concerned has been stalled by the Akufo-Addo's failed government. Bawumia has helped President Akufo-Addo to legalize corruption in this country. Under their watch, we saw the cedi drop drastically, leaving our economy in a financial wheelchair. We have no basis as Ghanaians to give Dr. Bawumia another chance to lead this country. I urge him to back off, apologize to Ghanaians, and re-strategize himself for a better comeback in the future. Daniel Akpaliok from Sandema.
Rosalind, I'm not surprised my brother Yao is finding it difficult to discuss this inflation.
All right, more messages. So this government has vowed to milk this nation through every means. The decision of government to sell the Saglemi housing project to a private developer is a clear attempt to loot and share. For all you know, that private developer is a party faithful. It's a pity, says Daniel Akpaliok. I think it's the same thing Frank actually said too, that, you know, it looks like it's going to be a party faithful who will sell it. But we are here, we'll get to know about it. Yes. Any more messages or we are good to go so that, you know, I can let Godwin speak.
So that you allow me to flow.
Yes. I think you can go ahead.
Okay. So I'm not surprised my brother Yao is finding it difficult to discuss this particular issue. See, when we say inflation, it's about the rate at which prices of goods and services
have shot up.
That's the prices. And today, anybody that will tell you that the government has either turned the corner or turning the corner, it's not being truthful to the people of Ghana. The last time I said it here, you took inflation at 17.5% in 2017. Prior to 2017, you had told the people of Ghana that you had the magic. You would turn the economy of this country in 18 months. You didn't tell the people of Ghana you move the inflation rate from 17.5 to 42%, or it goes off and on like a pendulum. And you haven't brought it back to the 17.5, and you are telling me you've done well.
Convenient.
If you are not lying to the people, then what else will you be doing to the people? And I am very happy the kind of questions you were putting to him. Anybody that will tell you that the people of this country, that we didn't get money, irrespective of the fact that workers were asked to stay home, we had money to a tune of 21 billion. As said by the finance minister. They used part of the money to pay, i.e. the salaries, the grant, and everything. Out of it, the country even had profit. Because we had spent 11 billion on COVID-related expenses. And the country had extra 10 billion. So how on earth would the COVID that gave you extra 10 billion now tend to be a problem why inflation is going up? Rather, the 10 billion should have cushioned the country or the government so that inflation comes down. And this morning, let me say a good morning to John Jinapo, who predicted that very soon the government would start giving blames to the Niger coup And that's what exactly my brother has done.
Oh no, but he didn't.
No, he said it. I wrote it here. Forget. Maybe you have forgotten. I said he made mention of Niger.
Yeah, but he didn't say the coup.
He said we get some of our products
from Niger. But he didn't say the coup.
Russia, Ukraine. One of their reasons is that we import some of our things from Russia, Ukraine. Example is wheat, which he mentioned, and that is why some of the food prices have gone up.
Export wheat.
Yes, has gone up. It's the same example he gave to Niger. So he's saying that the Niger coup is affecting the country. Suddenly they've added Niger to COVID, Russia, Ukraine, and now Niger. But my brother, my sister, you see, the surprising thing is that when they keep mentioning foreign products that we import into the country, the question I keep asking myself is, when the prices of wheat, rose, and those things were expensive, was banana also expensive or not? Banana that we plant in this country, we don't import, was equally expensive. Plantain was equally expensive. Locally produced products were equally expensive. So how on earth will you be justifying this?
Well, with that, we know that it was to do with the fuel prices that was causing inflation at that time, the dollar to the cedi ratio, because when the economists spoke at that time, they actually did affiliate the fact that inflation was going up because our cedi at that time was not the very best. It was weak.
You see, don't bring this.
Part of
no, don't bring these reasons. Let me tell you why.
You know the reasons.
You are
an economist.
Who is supposed to see to it that our inflation doesn't go up? Is it not them?
No, but
who is supposed to see to it that you and I buy fuel at a low cost?
No, Godwin.
Is it not them?
Godwin, that's the same.
Who is supposed to see to it that the exchange rate does not move to where it has moved to?
The same thing the economist said. So we all know that at that time, the city was not strong because we had a government who was supposed to manage it. That's all the economists were saying.
So the bottom line...
And now he's saying that probably the Niger is actually...
What the economist is telling you, the bottom line is that the government has failed.
They didn't say that.
No, I'm saying that. No, you can deduce from the statement, because if they are supposed to see to it that inflation doesn't get to that point, they are supposed to manage the exchange rate, make sure we don't buy fuel at that cost, and at the end, all these things are not being done. Then how do you call them? I don't know, a failed government. So you don't expect that economist to say it black and white, but that is the impulse of the message he was giving out.
Okay.
That is why today the junior rice I used to buy 17 cedi, 20 cedi. Today it is past 100 Ghana cedis. Idle milk that I used to buy 2
they don't
cedi,
sponsor
80%.
My show. You mentioned their name. Just say milk and say rice.
No, because we have types of milk.
But they don't sponsor my show.
I know, but just forgive me for the purposes of this discussion.
People watching, they will think
that. No, because if I don't mention the product one after the other, you may not know the rate of price.
We have nutrition. These are
how much is this now?
These are our sponsors.
I'll tell you
that I will go on the market and get
no, but all what I'm trying to say is that when you look at prices of goods and services as of 2016 and now, most of them have gone past 100%. Some 150%, some 200%. And Rosalie, I know how good you are in the kitchen. You go to the market.
You know.
Yes, you go to the market. You know how you used to buy things in 2016 and how much you are buying those things today.
Oh no, every Ghanaian will say
because
that.
You know why I'm saying that.
Every Ghanaian will say that prices have gone up.
Yes, so I'm saying that the government has told the people
say prices have gone up.
And we cannot give those justifications.
No, but
because those justifications are all part of his reasons why the people of Ghana changed the NDC and brought them. So they should be telling us that they've done A, B, C, D, but not to be giving excuses.
No, this allow epileptic argument is not working for us.
Why?
You're talking about expendables, but you are not talking about revenues. Anytime you want to talk about expenditures, talk about revenue. In 2016, the ordinary person on the street of Accra, on Ghana working, what was their revenue points? How much were they earning? This year alone, government has increased salary 30%. So if any time you want to talk about expenditures, the reason why we increase revenue is because government appreciate the fact that prices of goods and services has gone up. So we have to increase earnings so that we'll be able to meet our responsibilities. So please.
No.
In as much
wait, let me make a point.
In as much as you want to talk about goods and services going up, also try and appreciate the increase in our revenues. You understand?
That's for the government sector, though.
Even at the private sector.
No.
I'm coming. I'll build it. The Okada driver that used to take you from maybe Kaneshi to Circle, that used to charge 5 cedis. Today, do not charge 5 cedis. To charge 20 cedis. There has been appreciation of what income. Because the reason why he's charging less is because rice, Gino rice that he's talking about has increased.
Yeah, still mentioning brand name.
Skafra.
Right.
Sorry. Because rice price has gone up. That is why there has been increase. Those people that run advert here, bring your balance sheet. Let's see if the charges you used to charge them in 20 is the same thing you charge today. It's not true. Income levels are also appreciated. Likewise,
not all places.
Please, but not all places, but admitted.
My income hasn't increased.
Dr. Chum is listening.
And I know there are so many people out there. So you see, it's not everybody that works for the government sector.
No, I have taken I decided to take, even at the private sector, I decided to use an Okada motorist as an example.
Okada motorist is taking money off me that my salary hasn't been increased. So I still struggle.
No. I have stated here. You are talking about government. You should tell me it's not true that government only in this year has increased monument salaries. So should I answer? 30%
for the government sector. Yes,
you understand,
Rosalind? That's true though.
No, Rosalind, you see,
it's not true.
We can't be battling with 42% inflation,
and they are increasing
salary by 30%. There's already a deficit of 12%.
Okay, so that's what
you need to understand.
Right.
There's a deficit. So that worker is still struggling.
Okay.
To buy those things. That's what you need to understand. This is common understanding of economics. And you see, my dear.
Right.
It's on government. It's on government.
Why are you
2021?
We are even done.
I'm coming. 2021
and you are lying.
2022. We were told by the finance minister that the targeted revenue that they wanted, they had more than the targeted revenue. Yes or no? He said it on the floor of parliament. So the government has had enough money.
No, enough
money to be able to manage the economy. Please. So talk about the fact that you had a lot of money. You have not been able to inject it into the economy to make sure that the ordinary citizen feel free.
Okay. Yeah, 1 minute.
Has there been any point in this country whereby we have had our incomes and then our expenditure tiring or breaking even before? Has there been, from Nkrumah to date, has there been any? Can he prove that? So
how?
This, like, when you are talking about the difference between our salary and the inflation that you're talking about, in this country, there has not been any point in the history of this country whereby our monument, break even with our expenditures. No. There has always been a disparity. Please go check.
Don't worry.
That is why we have always had trade deficits.
That is the case.
It's okay.
That's why we have had trade deficits over or balance of payment deficits.
But we'll also agree to the fact that this is the time that has gone the highest, right?
This is the time that in the history of from 1957 to date, this is the period that this economy has had a lot of turmoils, both internationally and locally.
Okay, yeah.
You cannot be oblivious of those facts.
All right. Okay, gentlemen, thank you so much for being here. We are super grateful that you could make it. Of course, Yao Yabua represented the NPP, and he was very vocal. And of course, Godwin Ayamba Mahama also represented the NDC. Godwin, you know that Yao is actually contesting to become an MP. Are you supporting him? Your vote is for him, right?
No,
for him to become, I'm not
a delegate in his constituency.
No, to represent.
I only prefer certain strategic solutions and suggestions to him, so that he will win in the primaries.
Yeah, the primaries.
Yeah, that's what the primaries. No two ways about it.
So we are supporting him to win the primaries.
I keep saying it here. He's one of the MPP guys that I ask myself surprisingly why he belongs to MPP, because
if I let
the kind of knowledge he has, he doesn't find space in the house of the MPP.
All right, so thank you so much for watching News Flash. We are not done yet.